Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to the PHLY Flyers Postgame Show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me for this postgame show, once again, the star of the Anthony Gargano Show. It is JP Zapata. Not exactly the inspiring effort we were hoping for to kick off the home slate here, JP.
No, not at all, man. And look, we're not going to get too upset here over a loss. We're not getting it to home opener. We want to get it. We're all excited, right? They're at home for the first time this year, and they put out that performance. And you know me. I look at it as a Philly sports fan. We just went through what happened with the Phillies. The Eagles are in that. And while we were watching this, I just watched the unit get eliminated from the playoff contention as well. So right now, I was looking for the Flyers to give me some type of a bright spot. But this is one of those games where you just want to pull your hair out.
Very, very frustrating game. Sam Ersson was very good, especially in the first period. But the Flyers, they got shut out. There was literally nothing. They had a 0% chance of winning. And just a lot of frustrating miscommunications in the defensive zone, turnovers, and the ever-present plague of missing the net. I'll have Owen Tippett's final numbers for you and how many times he missed again in just a minute. But it's really not just an Owen Tippett problem. There are excuses you can make if you're so inclined tonight. Like the Flyers, of course, yesterday's their travel day. They have to fly west to east. We always know how difficult that is. We've heard, for years, the Seahawks never won a game in the Eastern time zone for 20 years, whatever.
Those 3 hours kill you, man.
Meanwhile, Vancouver, they were in Tampa on Tuesday. They were in Sunrise on Thursday. So they've been in the Eastern time zone for a week. They haven't been back west since the Flyers beat them in their home opener. So it's the Canucks revenge game for that. There's all sorts of the things you can look at with the weird start to this season.
Yeah.
So I am going to choose to say, okay, that's the problem with what we're seeing right now. It's not like nobody outside of Kelly, and if you were to hook Kelly up to a lie detector, she would be like, no, I don't actually think they're going to win the Stanley Cup. Nobody expected this team to be a cup contender.
Right.
So it's not so much the losses, and if you're so inclined, you can be like, losses are actually good. We're going to get a high draft pick. That's cool. And maybe that's the way this works out. But in your year 3 of Tortorella, I just expect the defense to be tighter. I expect it to look. I know Nick Seeler is missing.
Jeez,
this week, I'm not going to turn him like we did. I guess Matt Niskanen is just the greatest player in the league. We like Nick Seeler a lot. I'm a Nick Seeler fan. He's got a great story. I'm glad he's here. He's a nice player to have. He's not winning a Norris Trophy anytime. He's not the MV freaking P of the team.
Seriously, dude.
I'm not going to put it all on that, but he is out. I expect the execution to be better than it was to end last season. And outside of Sam Ersson looking like a competent NHL goaltender and the power play with the addition of Matvei Michkov being not the worst thing I've ever seen, there are no differences from the way the season ended last year. Mm-hmm. And that's disheartening because I know this is a rebuild. And again, it's not so much about losses, but you get shut out in your home opener, man. Come on. That can't happen. Mm-mm. People pay good money to go see this game. There is a buzz about this team. How long it lasts is up to them now. Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up because I got more than one tweet. I got multiple tweets about the coach. I got multiple tweets about how much of this is on John Tortorella.
I saw it.
What I will say is that this is the first time they've been shut out in a home opener since 1999, they said on the broadcast. The 5. Ottawa Senators, who were an awesome defensive team at that time.
Yeah.
They were the New Jersey Devils, basically. Okay. They come into the home opener 1-2-1, so they're 1-3-1 now. They were being outscored 18-13. So now it's quick math, 21-13, -8. not great. In 2013-14, the Flyers fired Peter Laviolette after an 0-3 start. They got outscored 9-3. It's -6 in those 3 games. I'm not like saying that this should happen or it's going to happen. I'm just saying from here now, okay, they have 2 days off. They don't travel.
Right.
Their next game is Tuesday, the 22nd, home against Washington. The following day, they have to go down to Washington. Not exactly a trip that takes a lot out of you. Got to go down 95. I think they take like a train that's like nicer than most houses. Then after Washington, they've got a couple more at home. Then they go to Boston. They're home for a few more. They don't leave the Eastern time zone until the end of next month. The end of like the last week of November is the next time they're not at home or somewhere where the travel is not arduous.
Okay.
From here, I need to see more. Like, I'm going to reserve my opinion on Torts and his message still resonating, and maybe they're like, you know, Sean Couturier starts the game on the 4th line left wing tonight. Maybe little things like that are wearing on these guys, but I'm not going to make that judgment until after Tuesday and seeing what this team does once things are normal. I will retroactively accept the excuse of how weird the start of this season was if they normalize from here. But like, I'm not even saying go on a 5-game winning streak or anything.
Right.
Again, this is a rebuilding team, and we all know that. But I need them to be tighter in the D zone. They need to stop missing the net with more than half their attempts. They need to win more faceoffs. They need to start faster. They need to be more physical and not take a bunch of penalties, a bunch of lazy stick penalties. You know, you get called for a roughing like Hathaway did in between periods, and it's like it was a scrum and they only took one guy. All right. You're a little aggressive and maybe you hit a guy when you shouldn't have. And like the hit on Michkov the other night where it was like, that should have been boarding probably. Like, fine. You take those sorts of penalties. You take a penalty to prevent a goal. So be it. I am seeing so many of these penalties that are just bad stick penalties. Tonight, Hathaway gets 3. He had all 3 of the Flyers' penalties, high sticking and a tripping, and then that roughing at the end of the second period where they probably could have taken Connor Garland too. But they, coming into tonight, had taken 22 minor or bench penalties, 15 of them. 15. Tripping, slashing, high sticking, and hooking. That is just moving your feet and being in control of your stick.
Yes.
If you're in position to defend, if you're in control of your stick, those things will not happen. And you look like one roughing, one delay a game, like Morgan Frost intercepted a pass, made a nice defensive play, and then immediately fired it into the stands when he tried to clear it. It was like, all right, well, he giveth, he taketh away. Yeah. But like one instigator on the Forster fight a couple of games ago, too many men in the first game. Like, all right, it's the first game. There was a bad change, whatever. Like, these are things that you can just go, all right, we wash that away. Stick penalties like this that they've been taking, and they took 2 more tonight, both Hathaway, a high sticking and a tripping. So that's 17 of their 25 minor penalties are just avoidable stick minors. Stop it. Like, these are the things that I just need to see cleaned up. I just need to see execution. They're going to be, like, outgunned most nights. Yeah. Because, again, they're rebuilding. And why? Because they don't have enough good players. But you got to have some jam. They left it on the plane tonight.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting to kind of, like, look at this because, look, I wonder if, you know, because like we've seen them in the years before, they start off really quick. That's been their MO. Like, they start off quick. They're one of the hottest teams to off the jump. And obviously this year, dude, the attention to detail has not been there. Like, we've seen, especially like tonight, a lot of sloppy play. And like, you know, I was just wondering, maybe they're just trying to get their, you know, the gears going, or, you know, especially early on in the year, not start off the season guns a-blazing. I mean, defensively, I mean, Ersson, I thought he looked solid tonight, but he had no help. No. Whether defensively or you just talked about all the shots that we had on goal. I mean, we couldn't buy a goal tonight, Bill. The amount of shots. I mean, Owen Tippett like, himself. Holy crap.
Yes, Kevin Lankinen played a good game as he did in Vancouver in the opener.
Oh, was he really tested tonight?
But yeah, like when Travis Konechny gets a beautiful setup from Matvei Michkov in the low slot on the power play, and he airmails it. Like, all right, that you didn't test him. You never even tested him there. And I think Konechny hit a post on an odd man rush. It's not just an Owen Tippett problem. Like, this stuff is happening way too much, and they just need to tighten. Like, what was it? Knocked up. Like, and then once you have that, baby, you need to tighten. Yeah, like that's what we need to see this team do. Is just like tighten it up. They just haven't. They've been a little off. The passing is just nowhere near where it needs to be. The ability to hit the net on their good chances, nowhere near where it needs to be. And the defensive zone coverage is all over the place. I expect a John Tortorella team to be disciplined. Yeah, they just in no realms, like whether it's execution on offense, defense, or penalties, we're not seeing any sort of discipline.
Dude, I'm still, like, you talking about that, like, I'm still envisioning Erik Johnson Sitter. Dude, that was, to me, that was the clearest opportunity. Like, wide open.
And Coots had a couple right in front. Yeah. Like, the biggest challenge thus far through 5 games is the Flyers versus the open net. They just haven't been able to hit it so far. Maybe rivalry. These things come around. Maybe it's just like a whole bunch of bad luck, and that means a 10-game winning streak because they shoot 40% is around the corner. But, like, it's not an inspiring start to the season. No. So
they're not even playing it, like, with intensity. That's something that we saw. When they were really good last year, you saw the intensity, physical, and the attention to detail as well.
The lack of physicality is, like, there was a couple nice hits tonight, but it felt like in the first half of last season, there was a hit on every shift.
Yeah, man.
If they didn't have the puck, they were hitting. I'm just not seeing that yet.
No, and that's something that they're going to obviously look. That was their MO last year. And, like, you're still going to have to, like, even though, like, you have some good young talent, you're still going to have to play that style of play because you still don't have a lot of top-end talent. So they're going to have to clean it up. And especially if you want, especially against Washington, we know they're a little bit older. Dude, you got to come out with some physical play.
Right now we're talking about the Flyers. We just need to see some more quality work. You know, we just need to see them put something together and make it look strong, like it's sustainable, like it's going to last. And that is what our friends at C-Jam Construction do. That's right. What is C-Jam Construction? They are a family-owned home remodeler specializing in decks, bathrooms, and flooring, and their goal is to help their clients alleviate the challenges and frustrations that comes with home remodeling. And right now, they're running a spooky season sale until Halloween. That's right, until the 31st of October on their CoreLogic luxury vinyl plank flooring. Prices starting at $249 a square foot with savings up to 35% off retail. Taxes and fees are extra. CoreLogic flooring is 100% waterproof, formaldehyde-free, and features an elegant natural wood look and feel. It's a durable flooring with no less than 20 millimeter wear layer and an overall plank thickness of 5 millimeters. Be sure to mention PHLY when you call 856-329-2933 about your next home project. See their full selection of luxury vinyl plank flooring and learn more about the products and warranties on the website cjamconstruction.com/flooring. While we're here, I got to tell you about HelloFresh, one of our newest sponsors here at PHLY Flyers. What is HelloFresh? HelloFresh, with HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-proportioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 home meal kit. HelloFresh delivers all the pre-portioned ingredients you'll need to make easy homemade meals. All the proteins, veggies, sauces, spices, and more arrive in your box, along with simple instructions that walk you through each step in the cooking process. From hearty dinners to game day snacks, HelloFresh has a variety of recipes and flavors to perfectly accompany sweater weather. We're looking at you, pumpkin spice. That's right. I love some seasonal stuff. And you know what I love? Never going to the grocery store. The grocery store is basically like driving in traffic, but the people are pushing carts and you're not protected from maniacs by your car. Like, I can't stand going to the grocery store. Like, my wife and I go, and she's like, I should have just left you home because you're a lunatic here, and it's making everything worse. Well, with HelloFresh, nobody ever has to go. And right now, you can get 10 free bucks. 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/PHLY, applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's 10 free meals, 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/PHLY. It's that is not let me start again. Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/Free Flyers. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/FreeFlyers. It's America's #1 meal kit. You're going to love it. Check out HelloFresh.
Flyers throwing off Bill as well. We understand.
I just... Yeah, sometimes I get lost in the middle of reading.
No, I feel you, brother.
I'm reading the wrong thing, and I don't realize it. Yeah, but yeah, free FLYERS. Hello,
love
Fresh.
it.
All right, let's talk about Sean Couturier.
Let's talk about it.
He ended the game actually up in the top 6 again, and looking at the ice time. Where did Sean Couturier go here?
15:58.
Yeah, he ended up playing 15:58, which is more than he had previously. He played like less than 10 minutes a couple of games ago. I think he was at 13 minutes the other night. But Sean Couturier started the game not only on the 4th line, which did start. It was his 800th game, and we know Torts loves to start the 4th line, so it makes sense. And it's, game number 800 for him. Mm-hmm. But he's on the left wing.
Weird.
And according to Al Morgani and the NBC Sports Philly crew, it's the first game he's ever played on the wing.
Also can't believe that. Even in those early years?
I couldn't believe that there was never a time. Like, I'm sure he's taking shifts on the wing and stuff.
COVID year?
But, I just found it odd that, like, he's never played substantial time on the wing. And even though, he took some face-offs tonight, but he took 7 face-offs in 15 and a half minutes. Mm-hmm. It's very odd what's going on with Sean Couturier right now. And I have a couple of theories.
Oh, okay.
One is they are trying to load manage Sean Couturier. Okay. They realize, especially, I've heard all this offseason, Jason Martinez talked about, when you come back from surgery, the first step, you get back on the ice and you're getting back in shape. And then there's the breaking up of the scar tissue after the surgery. And you're not fully comfortable. You're back and you're 100%, but you're just not fully comfortable until you have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
They also realized Sean Couturier last year, when they were playing him 20 minutes a game and he looked good, suddenly fell off a cliff. Maybe they're trying to avoid that. And putting him at wing now, that's a little bit less of a load. He doesn't have to be as low in the zone, doesn't have to do quite as many things. Yeah. But he's still out there, and I thought the last couple of games, Sean Couturier has had some jump with less ice time. I thought he looked pretty good tonight, despite not being able to score on the doorstep a couple times. I thought he played a pretty good game. And I've been thinking that about Coots. Maybe they're just load managing him, and they're going to try to do it opposite this year. They're going to work him back up, and then by the midway to the rest of the season, it's time to up his ice time. Rather than, oh, wow, he sucks. Now he's on the 4th line after you just used him 20 minutes a night for the first 35 games.
Right.
Perhaps that's it. My other theory, which is more of a conspiracy theory, is we have you playing left wing on the 4th line for a coach who you haven't had the greatest start to a relationship with. Yeah. You were out the first year he was the coach. The second year, all the stuff, he named him captain. A month later, he scratches him. He's got him on the 4th line. Now he's got him on the 4th line again, not even playing his natural position. They can't buy out Sean Couturier's contract.
No, they can't.
It's going to cost way too much for way too long.
Yeah.
It would cost a lot less if you cover 50% of it and trade him. Sean Couturier has a no-trade clause. Perhaps they want him to demand a trade. These are my 2 theories. One, I think, is a lot more feasible than the other. The third theory, which is Occam's razor here, The coach just doesn't think he's very good, so he's playing him on the fourth line. Like, that's possible as well. That it's just the simplest explanation. He thinks he's a fourth line player, and so he's got him on the fourth line. What do you think, JP?
I mean, regardless, Bill, this situation is freaking weird, right? Like, I mean, obviously, listen, we all love Coots, right? He's been here. It feels like he's been here forever.
800 games.
800 games. You heard it. You heard it today on the broadcast. But like, yeah, he's obviously older. We're obviously going through back surgery, especially in this sport. Back's kind of important to have, right?
Turns out it's connected to everything. Yeah. Your arms and legs, they're attached to your back.
Yeah, literally. And so, like, it is such a weird way, like, how they have handled him. Like, you look at the timeline, name captain. What was it, like a month later?
It was almost exactly a month, I think.
He gets scratched.
Yeah.
Now, tonight, he gets moved to the fourth line at a position that he's never played. And so, like, this whole situation is weird. Your theories, I mean, Bill, they're not far off. Like, what do we think?
In all likelihood, it's... Yeah, the coach just thinks he's a fourth liner. Like, what does he not like about Morgan Frost? He doesn't think he's that good. That's why he scratched him 10 times last year. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe it's that simple. But you see a guy who signed for this kind of money, for this kind of term. He's the captain. Again, he's the longest tenured player in the team. He's been here since 2011, 12. How can we figure out a way out of this? Well, he basically has to ask his way out.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't want to go, there's nothing we can do. He's got a no move clause. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to create a situation for him to want to go. And these, again, just a conspiracy theory here, but I don't think it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I have like a tinfoil hat on and I'm cooking up ideas. Like, you're seeing what's going on with Sean Couturier, right? It's not insane.
No, I mean, like, dude, when you have like a big money player like that, like, and he's not performing, like, what else are you supposed to do? And it's unfortunate too, because like when he's fully healthy, like legitimately fully healthy, like he's the perfect center in John Tortorella's system. And that's what's the most frustrating part about this as well. I mean, listen, injuries happen, and obviously players aren't going to be young forever, but like this situation, how is this going to end? And this is something that we're going to have to keep monitoring.
It is. Something else to monitor is Sam Ersson, because he was a lone bright spot tonight. Listen, they created some chances, but at the end of the day, they got shut out and didn't look... it's not as if Kevin Lankinen had 50 saves, you know? Like, Sam Ersson, though, ended up with a really good night. Despite allowing 3 goals, he stopped 29 of 32 for a .906 save percentage, and including 14 of 15 in the first period, which is that part to me, the slow starts, and especially a slow start in your home opener. And again, I will retroactively allow for the travel, weird start. If they like start to look good in the next week or two, I'll be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It really was just a weird start to the season. But like a John Tortorella team is supposed to be in great shape, mentally disciplined, mentally strong. It's your home opener. As tired as you might be, this is supposed to be a big deal. You should want to put on a show for your fans.
I agree.
And to be outshot the way they were in the first period, and to need Sam Ersson to stop 14 of 15 just to keep you in the game in the first period, that's not good enough for me. But I did really appreciate the effort Ersson gave to the team tonight. Second period, he gave up the 2 goals, stopped 11 of 13 in that period. Still, like, first 2 periods, he faces 28 shots. Again, this is the one thing that came through for us tonight. We had some offensive bets, and obviously they got shut out, so none of those came through. But we did have the Bet365 total of 23.5 saves. Well, he had 24 through 2 periods, 25 through 2 periods. So we hit that. We cleared that, no problem. That was cool. Didn't even need the third period for that one. But especially if Fedotov is going to struggle the way he is, they need to take advantage of when Sam Ersson is in net. And this is just another one. Like, good start for Ersson. It got away from them.
Yeah, and listen, the offense, at some point you have to figure out, like those shots are going to fall eventually, right? But defensively, like, I think we do have a problem, Bill. Like, and it's still early on in the season, but you cannot like what you have seen. And on a night like tonight, like Ersson looked solid, and he had absolutely no help, especially defensively. And it was just sloppy play. And Vancouver, especially early on, they were racking up the shots. Through 9 minutes, it was 10-1 on shots. They had the advantage there. And so, like, you have to give Ersson some leeway, and he hasn't gotten any.
No, it was a shooting gallery for the first part of the first period for a lot of the game, and that's the Flyers. Another big difference from last season, especially the way they started. Flyers were one of the best shot suppression teams in the league. I think only Carolina gave up fewer shots a game than the Flyers last year. Tonight they give up 32 to a Vancouver team that averaged 27.5. Like, teams are coming in and getting more than their average shots against you. That means you're doing a bad job. And in the few games leading up to this, it's like, well, they're taking so many penalties. They were only on the PK 3 times tonight. Really only 2 times, because one of the Vancouver penalties was alongside a Hathaway penalty, and it was a double minor. So it was like really only twice they were shorthanded. So it's not like, oh, well, they were undisciplined, just gave up a ton of shots 5-on-4. No, they just gave up a ton of shots throughout the game. And that's not going to be a recipe for them to succeed. Like, this team needs to block more shots. They need to stop with the defensive zone turnovers. Like, they're struggling so much to break the puck out, and teams are getting way too many second and third opportunities. No one can hold up through a 45, 60, 90-second shift in the defensive zone.
Yeah.
Like, the rules don't allow it. You're either going to give up a goal or take a penalty. That's what's going to happen, and that's what's been happening to them so far.
And how many times last year, especially in the defensive zone, you get to stop, and they went on a break. And we saw some of it tonight, but like, they scored a lot of goals off that as well.
They did. They turned defense into offense quite a bit, whether it was blocking a shot and getting a breakaway or a 2-on-1 from there, intercepting a pass, turning it up real fast because the weak side winger was already bombing down the ice. And I thought, like, when John Tortorella said, when he was asked last season about it, well, we need to take advantage of what Michkov can do. That's where we came up with the nickname the Mad Russian when he said this. That's part of Misha's game. And I thought, oh, well, now he's here. We're going to be able to do it even more. Have not seen it enough, and it's because they haven't made enough defensive plays to be able to do it. I think the rush will be there eventually, but it's when the defensive zone coverage creates those opportunities.
Yeah, man.
Like, because we're still seeing it on the penalty kill. We're still seeing them try to turn defense into offense on the PK. So it's there. But at 5-on-5, they're just not creating anything right now.
Seems to be some type of disconnection. And who would have thought, man? You missed the Hall of Fame, the future Hall of Famer Nick Seeler.
It's really like it's like he and Sean Walker. It's Matt Niskanen all over again. Like, these guys. You
insane,
think, like, you watch them play for your team, and you go, oh, they're nice players. All right, cool. It's cool to have them. They're not stars or anything. But then they leave, and everything goes to hell. So what else should I think, other than, I guess, Sealer and Walker were the best pair in the league last year, I guess.
Yeah.
And we just had no idea.
And so I do have to ask this, because I did see this on all the social medias as well. I don't think this would help much, but at what point do you give a shot at Emil Andrae out there?
Like, I'm just looking at the way everything went tonight. They did have 2 other defensemen other than York and Sanheim play more than 20 minutes. Whether it's Zamula, whether it's Johnson, I just don't see how. I don't see how playing Emil Andrae could make the team worse now. The thing we're struggling to do, and it's part of the reason Emil Andrae made the team last year.
Yeah.
Like, John Tortorella recognized, I don't know if this kid's ready. Maybe he's going to be in over his head, and after 4 games he was. But he has a skill set we need. He can move the puck, and we are very badly struggling to move the puck out of our defensive zone. Well, they did it pretty well last year, and it was like, okay, we don't need him. He's in over his head. York and Sanheim were good. Walker could do it. It looked like there was something to this defense.
Yeah.
Now, Walker no longer here. Sealer out of here. They think they have it in Drysdale. I thought he was okay tonight, but maybe you need another guy who can do it. Maybe that's Emil Andrae. I just think this is one of the things you're struggling to do, and it's one of the things he does well. Why not just give him a shot?
And it's not like Zamula's lighting up either.
No, Igor Zamula, the Zamula and Risto pair has been dreadful. I think they got broken up at times tonight in the third period. We talked about this pregame in terms of like, all right, they're trying to keep Johnson and Drysdale together. Then we know Sanheim and York are going to be together. So Johnson Drysdale is kind of, all right, we'll take Johnson out, we'll put Sealer in, and only one pair gets disrupted while Nick Sealer is injured. The other two, because they like Zamula's Risto coming into the year, we'll figure this out, and then we'll have Drysdale, Sealer together. Everything will be fine. It ain't working. Like, I know you only, like, it's like, why don't the Eagles, when the left tackle's injured, move Johnson over? It's like, well, because they don't want to weaken two positions.
Exactly.
Like, and that's kind of the thought process now with this defense, and I get that. But this thing isn't working either.
No.
Like, it's, you don't have the steadying force of, okay, well, the other two pairs can pick up the slack. And the amount of minutes York and Sanheim are playing, as we saw last year, it's unsustainable.
No,
like,
no.
They played actually under their average tonight. York is at 22-24, Sanheim at 22-14. They both came in over 23 a game tonight. So I guess you got them a little bit of a rest. But at a certain point, a determination needs to be made. I look at Rasmus Ristolainen. He played less than Eric Johnson tonight. He played 13-28. Maybe he's the guy to come out. Maybe you move some guys around. I don't know, but it's not going well defensively.
No, not at all, man. Zamula third highest in time on ice, and like, dude, we had some expectations, not like too high for Risto, but obviously, look, Risto's not part of the future plans. We were hoping we could possibly move on from him, but dude, like, starting off this season, it's been putrid.
There's certainly a lot of room to improve. If I was the coach of the team. That's what I would say. That would be my cliche for the post-game press conference. You either win or you learn, and we are learning a ton right now.
I know.
Like, that's. I guess what else can you even say?
You think this is an entertaining presser tonight?
I don't know. We don't have Charlie O'Connor tonight. Charlie is at a wedding. I guess he's allowed to take days off when his friends get married. I suppose that's allowed. But we don't have Charlie down at the Wells Fargo Center tonight, so we don't. I won't be able to see the anything from the Torts presser till after the show. But
what are the odds Charlie's at the wedding across the street from us right now?
How freaking if Charlie is at Love City Brewing right now, there's like I think this is like it looks like a rehearsal dinner. Maybe it's a wedding. I don't know. It is Saturday. Like who gets married on Sunday?
That's a cool venue. I would say.
It is a cool venue.
Yeah, well,
if Charlie is across the street right now, because you probably can't hear it, but there's a freaking party going on 7 floors below us. Dude. If he's there and didn't at least pop his head in, I'm going to be very disappointed. No, don't work on your days off, folks. That goes for everybody across the board. You know what Charlie's doing?
What's he doing?
Charlie tonight is choosing to chill.
I like that.
That is right.
He deserves it.
We all choose to chill. Listen, we're 5 games into the Flyers season. I know I'm making some grand generalizations, but we're only 5 games in. This team, they drive us nuts. It's what they do, and that's why anytime we can just take a step back and choose to chill, we should celebrate that. And there's no better way to celebrate choosing to chill than with an ice cold Coors Light. So whether you're freaking out about the defense, about the coach, about the goalies, about the scoring, about Owen Tippett, you need to find the Blue Mountains in your fridge and enjoy a beer as cold as the Rockies, because when everything surrounding your favorite hockey team is on fire, sometimes you just got to choose to chill. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door, or find a store near you by going to CoorsLight.com/PHLY Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And while we're here, I got to tell you about our friends at Rothman Orthopedics. Woo. Listen, man, everyone has a specialty that they love. For some, it's running and gardening. For others, it's scoring goals or dropping the gloves. At Rothman Orthopedics, their physicians are not only specialized in orthopedics and clinical research, but they are fellowship trained to treat specific areas of the body. And since 1970, their physicians have remained committed to research, innovation, and minimally invasive procedures to get you back to what you specialize in. They're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. Rothman Orthopedics, specialized in orthopedics and you. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to learn more and to make an appointment today. All right, it's time to talk about Owen Tippett.
Oh, boy.
So the first 4 games, 37 total shot attempts, 13 shots on goal, 11 misses, 13 attempts blocked. Tonight, actually, not as bad of a night, but it was just kind of like he missed some real good opportunities. And
It just feels like he has the best opportunities.
Yeah, and that's the thing is he's creating the scoring chances. He's there. He's so close. But you got to hit the net, bro. Tonight, it was 4 shots on goal on 9 attempts, 1 miss or 1 block and 4 missed. You have to hit the net, Owen. Like, I just don't know what else to say about this team. And you look at the numbers for the game. Again, this is not just an Owen Tippett problem. Sean Couturier had 4 misses. Travis Konechny had 3 misses. Travis Sanheim had 3 misses. The team as a whole, 26 shots on goal, 10 attempts blocked, 23 misses. They missed almost as many as the times they hit the net.
Dude.
Like, the blocks are one thing. Sometimes you just need to make a play, get it through. Other times it's a nice defensive play. Sometimes you're trying to get it through, just doesn't quite get there. I'll give you the blocks. Only 10 blocked. That's not the worst thing in the world. 23 shots on goal. 26 shots on goal. 23 just flat out misses. That means you had a lane. You thought there was something you could do, and you never had a shot. You never gave yourself an opportunity. And I meant, like, Konechny had 3 or 4 misses, and they were golden opportunities. He's in a rush, basically 1-on-0 with the goaltender, fires it off the outside of the post. He's down low in the slot on the power play. Michkov gets him the puck. He just fires it over the net. These are when I'm talking about discipline, it's the stick penalties, it's the defensive zone coverage, it's the turnovers on breakouts, and it's simply getting shots that will give you a chance to score. You can't always shoot and score, but sometimes you need to hit the goalie low in the pads and try to bang one in. This team is in desperate need of a dirty goal right now, just to get somebody the confidence of seeing the red light go on again so that they can feel good about themselves and then maybe make a play later in the game because they think they can. It's just happening far too often right now.
Yeah, dude. If they get one ugly goal tonight, this game would have turned around. I fully believe that. I mean, they were getting shots on goal, and that wasn't the issue. I mean, like, at the end of the game, it was like 32-26, Vancouver with the advantage there. But, like, yeah, I mean, obviously Owen's the big one. I mean, this guy, I felt like he was like Fulton Reed at times, just shooting anything but the net. Yeah, literally. But even, like, there was that one opportunity in the first period. It was Tyson Forrester, Bobby Brink on a 2-on-1. Forrester had all the space in the world to just rip this shot from the left-hand side. Instead, he tries to find Bobby Brink, and then the puck gets deflected, and there goes a 2-on-1 opportunity. And I think right now, for a lot of these guys, it just feels like it's mental. Like, the confidence just needs to get there.
It feels like nobody can make a right decision right now. Like, Forrester on that rush needed to just rip it, man. I want my shooters to shoot.
Yes,
That
dude.
Said, Owen Tippett rips a shot on a 2-on-1 with Mish, and it really just felt like the pass was there. And I know that Tippett is a grip it and rip it guy. He is a shoot-first player, and that's how he scores goals. But we saw him in the preseason do it. We saw him in the preseason send a couple of passes over to Matvei Michkov for scoring opportunities. It's just about making the right decision right now, and it feels like they can't. Like, every decision they make is just kind of compiling the problem. Like, all right, man, I'm just going to shoot. And it's like, well, you missed. You know, I'm going to make this pass. And no, it wasn't there. You needed to. It's just compiling mistakes right now is the issue.
Yeah, but it just feels like they just got to, get back on the horse, on that saddle and keep going, man. Because I feel like eventually these shots are going to finally go through. And it just feels like everything right now with the Flyers is just mental. And it's still early on. They just got to get through it. And I think what you talked about earlier, being back on the East Coast, is going to be the big factor as well.
I'm hoping that does play. Like, I am hoping in a couple of shows to be able to go, that was the problem.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think they're going to win 10 in a row at any point this season. But, like, They need to just be playing better than they are right now. The last couple of games, there's been a bit of a sag.
Yeah.
There's just been a sort of situation. And that's not what we expect from a John Tortorella team. One thing I will say about maybe guys getting comfortable, guys just finding their games a little, I think Tortorella needs a little more discipline too. He has put the lines in a blender basically every game so far this season, and I don't know how anyone's supposed to have any sort of chemistry.
Yeah.
Especially while we're working new dudes in.
Yeah, you need some continuity, dude.
Very important players. Matvei Michkov, who's your best forward. Like, maybe give him consistent partners. Jett Luchanko. We're trying to see what the hell this guy is while he's here. If he's only going to be here 9 games, if he's going to be here all season, whatever it is, we're trying to figure out what he is. Jamie Drysdale, they've done that. Like, the D at least has had some consistency.
Yeah.
The way things are going right now, maybe it's not a quick fix. Maybe it's, I'm going to move Coots down here. I'm going to move Lawton up here. I'm going to do all these things. Maybe just stick with the same lines for 2 or 3 games and see what happens.
I couldn't agree more with you.
I know, like, the coaches can only do so much when the game starts.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go out and skate for them. You can't go out and shoot for them. You can't go out and make saves. What does a coach have control over when the puck drops? It's basically just the lines.
Yeah.
And when things aren't going well, I understand the temptation to go, well, this is the only thing I can control, so I'm going to mix and match the combos, and maybe somehow we stumble upon the magical combination that unlocks at least 2 of our 4 lines, like get 2 lines going. But maybe he needs a little bit more discipline with this too, because I don't know how anyone's supposed to get any chemistry going when we are mixing in some new players.
Yeah, right now you just need to find the concrete lines and allow these guys to figure it out, get themselves out of this rut. But yeah, you can't keep playing these musical chairs again with the forwards. I mean, at least he's not going 11-7 this year, but we need some continuity for sure, Bill.
Hasn't yet.
Knock on that wood,
I
boys and girls.
wonder how far away we are from 11-7.
Dude. That's how you get Emil Andrae out.
Scratching Couturier. I wonder if they would do it until Sealer comes back. He's just like, I got to get Johnson in there, man. We're going to get him to 1,000 games. That is part of with the defense, I think. I think tonight was number 992 for Erik Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Until he gets to 1,000, I wonder if one of the parts of keeping him around and re-signing him was like, we're going to get you to 1,000. You're not one of our 6 best defensemen. But up until you get to 1,000, you're number 7, your first D up.
Yeah.
I can understand that. That said, like, it's not as if they have the most respect for every veteran, Like, again, we just talked about they benched Sean Couturier last year.
Yeah, dude.
They demoted him to the 4th line in his 800th game tonight. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to maybe make some sense of why you don't get Andrae in while he's up, like once. Why don't you get him in once? Especially, he misses the opener for the Phantoms. All right. But then they didn't play again until Friday, Saturday. Mm-hmm. But you still haven't sent him back. And, like, now you're home, You can always just get him on the phone and have him here in an hour. That hasn't been the case.
Yeah.
They're keeping him here. Why not get him into a game? Like, I have trouble worrying about this when it's not as if they are across the board sitting young guys. Like, Michkov is on the first line. Jett Luchanko is here and playing more minutes than maybe one would expect. Not a ton tonight, but throughout so far, I mean, he was the 2C coming into the last game.
Yeah.
Ended up as the 3C tonight. There was, again, line changes, even without a practice or a morning skate or anything.
Right.
Torts put the lines in a blender. But, like, if young dudes are getting ample ice time, but Andrae isn't, it's like, well, maybe they just don't think he's that good. Like, maybe that's the problem here. But I can't imagine looking at how Zamula and Risto and Erik Johnson have started this season and not figuring out a way to get him into a game. One game, while he is now missed. Like, they played last night, they played tonight, the Phantoms. Get him out there. If he's not playing for the Phantoms, have him continue to get the ice time he needs in some other way. That hasn't been the case so far.
I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I mean, we'd rather see Emil Andrae over Eric. I mean, like Eric Johnson, yes, but not every game. But like, I think I would like to see Emil Andrae. We talked about this last year too. I mean, remember like when it came like Cam Atkinson over Bobby Brink or Mark Stahl over like a Igor Zamula, something like that. Like I would rather see the younger players, especially we're technically still in this rebuild.
Yeah, I gotta believe they're gonna get him in, but I am very surprised they haven't figured out a way to get him in once yet. That said, they also haven't figured out a way to get it. I mean, Noah Cates has only played once. Delorier hasn't played at all. So I guess Tortorella, even though the lines are different every night, wants to figure out at least who his 12 forwards and 6 defensemen are. Like, he has kept those pretty consistent. So I don't know. It's a mystery right now. You know what isn't a mystery, though? Where to get your flu shot for the season. That's right. No one wants to miss the big game. We have Saquon's revenge game coming up this weekend. No one wants to miss a couple of Flyers games coming up in the next few weeks. Halloween, your Halloween parties, Thanksgiving in a month or so. It's a fun time of year. And you want to be healthy for it. You don't want to miss anything, so get a flu shot at Rite Aid. And while at the pharmacy, you can get up to date on all of your vaccinations. You can even ask your pharmacist for a vaccine review and recommendations because the CDC recommends a flu shot every year. A person's immune protection from vaccination declines over time. Help protect yourself against the flu by getting your annual flu shot at Rite Aid. According to the CDC, flu vaccination may reduce a child's risk of severe life-threatening influenza by 75%. Help protect your family and the people around you by getting flu shots at Rite Aid. Flu viruses are constantly changing, so getting your annual flu shot formulated to help protect you against this year's strain is especially important. And getting vaccinated for anything you might need is the best protection, according to the CDC. And while you're at Rite Aid, stock up on cough, cold, flu, and allergy essentials. Rite Aid has what you need to get you through the season. Just walk into your local Rite Aid or schedule at riteaid.com. State, age, and health restrictions apply. Ask your local Rite Aid pharmacist for details. One of the things you may not want to miss, now you have some time to plan, but it is our takeover, our sweet takeover, January 11th at the Wells Fargo Center for Cutter Gauthier. Maybe. I mean, he might be in the AHL by then, the way things are going. But for Cutter Gauthier's apparent, right now, scheduled first game at the Wells Fargo Center. It's Flyers Ducks, January 11th. Right now, diehards can go to allphly.com. Make sure you sign in. There'll be a code for you to enter to get your diehard discount. It's pretty awesome. And in a couple of days, we'll be opening it up to everyone else. But we want to make sure our diehards get in first. And if you're not a diehard, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing? I realize Charlie's off tonight, but the dude works pretty hard year-round. I mean, one day, I get it, but you get premium Charlie O'Connor content all the time, not to mention all of our superstar list of our superstar roster of writers and reporters here at PHLY. Just go to allphly.com, sign up to be a diehard. It is well worth the investment. Access to the Discord, discounts on merch and events like the upcoming Sweet Takeover on January 11th. I'm making sure to say the date over and over because I got it wrong last show. That's my bad. I'm still working this job out, allphly.com. Be a diehard.
Are you saying Cutter Gauthier is going to Ben Simmons us on January 11th?
That would be funny as hell. If the place is packed with people who want to boo him and he's just like, ooh, I got a little back tightness tonight.
Meanwhile, we find him in France taking selfies.
I would be surprised if Cutter doesn't figure it out. I think he's going to be a good player. Yeah. I think he's going to be at least a decent goal scorer in this league, if not even better than that. But he does have some things to work on. He does have to get more physically engaged. He does need to get to the dirty areas. And this is, listen, I say that stuff about Owen Tippett all the time. It's not as if this is like sour grapes. Owen Tippett could be a 40-goal scorer. Right now, he doesn't hit the net enough and doesn't get to the center of the ice enough to be a 40-goal scorer. maybe that's kind of the problem with Cutter too.
It does feel like in Anaheim, like there's a lot of good young talent, but like
Yeah.
we talk about, especially Buffalo, you do need some vets in there as well.
You might be seeing with like the way they kind of gave up on Drysdale. They don't love Trevor Zegras. His name has been in trade rumors for like 2 years now. Now Cutter having some trouble acclimating. Maybe there's something to the way the Flyers are doing. I don't know. Listen, I was a tank and tear it down guy too, so I'm not gonna like sit here and act as if I knew all along. But maybe there's something to it.
Gotta build the culture, Bill.
You have to have a little bit of both. That said, about this culture, team needs to be a lot more freaking disciplined.
Yes,
like we
sir.
have just spent the last like 50 minutes talking about how much more disciplined they need to be.
Right.
And so I can't sit here and toot the Flyers horn when they're 1-5-1 and getting shut out in their home opener. You know, like maybe come out a little stronger at home for your home fans.
I agree.
You know,
Got to turn around.
I am hoping to be able to retroactively go weird start.
Yes.
Just a weird start. Bunch of odd things happened. I mean, Nick Seeler blocked a pass, not even 100-mile-an-hour slap shot. He blocked a pass off of the back of his leg in the middle of the preseason, and he still can't feel his foot. Like,
That's crazy.
maybe just a weird start.
I feel like he took 40 shots off his foot last year.
That's like, it happens to him all the
I
time, and
know.
he's fine. And now suddenly this? I can't wait to get Nick Seeler back because he's a fun player to watch, and he's a good story. This is freaking weird, though, man.
Oh, my God, yeah. Hopefully that foot's all right, man. It doesn't turn into Mr. Deeds with that, frostbite.
Frostbite, the black foot. Oh, my God. I love it. That is an underrated, Adam Sandler movie.
Very, very sneaky.
I'll tell you, I've watched Hubie Halloween like 3 times already.
Have you now?
I need a Hubie Halloween 2 already. Like, we need to get something going here with Hubie.
Are you a horror guy, by the way?
I like I like slasher films.
Okay.
Like I've watched all but the 6th Scream this year. I'm going to get to that eventually.
Okay.
I watched Freddy vs. Jason the other day.
Classics? Okay.
Yeah.
Does Ava like the horror films?
Sometimes. Like she
Okay.
digs Scream and stuff. Like
I have that problem at
something
home.
with some laughs in it. But typically, no, she's not the biggest horror fan.
Wife at home does not like the horror
She
stuff.
got up and left Scream 6 in theaters, actually, and was just like, I'm going to go home and make dinner. This is a waste of my time. Just get a ride home with Frankie. I was like, all right. And it did suck. Like, it was a bad movie. And I am the biggest Scream fan in the world. 6 was abhorrent.
She wasn't wrong.
Before we get to the Super Chats, I do want to talk about Matvei Michkov and Jett Luchanko quickly because, I mean, they're the guys we care about. Michkov, he led the team in ice time last game. He had over 21 minutes. Tonight, only 15:49. 3 shot attempts, 1 hit the net. Not the cleanest game for Michkov. I thought he had a couple of turnovers, fumbled the puck a couple of times. Maybe just a little bit of those nerves. We've seen him in that opener. Like, that was his least effective game, and he kind of worked his way in. The rookie game in Allentown, the first period, it seemed like, is Jett Luchanko better than Michkov? And then, like, worked his way to be, okay, yes, every time this guy's on the ice, he stands out. Maybe it was a little bit of that. But it's his first game since the opener without a point. So I suppose we can give him a pass. He has been pretty effective. He did have a few opportunities. I mean, the setup to TK in the slot, I don't know how he didn't score still.
Man.
So it's not as if he was totally silent tonight. But you need the guy to finish when you're setting someone up, and he didn't. He was just okay tonight, Mish.
Yeah, I mean, he had some solid moments, but like overall, I think offensively, this was a team problem.
Yeah, the whole team sucked on offense tonight.
Dude.
Real, like Kevin Lankinen, hats off, way to go. You got the shutout. But it's a 26 save shutout. It's not as if they peppered him all night. They missed the net consistently, and Mish was not immune. Only one of his 3 attempts hit the net.
And when there was a shot, dude, that was going right in Lankinen's belly.
Yeah, there was times that the Flyers ripped a shot and it just hit him right in the logo, and I was like, at least they hit him. At least like there was a chance for maybe a rebound, something.
Yeah.
At least there was an opportunity. Like if it was Ivan Fedotov, I don't know, the guy might have a hole in him. Like maybe it could have gone in if Fedotov was in net.
Right.
And it was just a rough night offensively. Same goes for Luchanko.
Yeah, man.
Did not play a ton tonight. Luchanko, 12-23. Only Bobby Brink played less amongst the forwards. And, yeah, only Bobby Brink played less on the team than Luchanko's 12-23. Did he even have a shot? No shots on goal.
No.
Did have one hit. It was kind of a game for Jett Luchanko again tonight, and it seemed like Torts recognized it.
Yeah.
Didn't put him on the ice a lot.
I feel like Torch probably wanted to go to the guys that he trusted most, especially in those dire moments, trying to get an ugly goal of some sort, trying to go with someone he trusts.
I'm wondering how long Luchanko, like, he is one of the best centers on this team.
Yeah.
That said, that's kind of just because, like, hey, man, the guy who was the 1C coming into the season was the fourth-line left winger to start game number 5. Like, they just don't have any.
I know,
and if you are in a rebuild, as much as you might want to keep the guy around because he does something for you that no one else does, is that the best thing for him? If the answer is no, you have to send him back. We'll see how that plays out. Before we wrap up, it's time for Super Chats.
Let's go.
All right, a whole bunch of Super Chats tonight.
Guys.
Okay, I probably should have done this earlier. From who is Mike Mall? Who is Mike Mall? Awfully nice of the Flyers to try to get their annual 10-game losing streak out of the way early. What are they at now? Is this 4 in a row? Because they won the opener. They haven't won since the first night.
I wasn't right on a losing streak.
I will be very surprised if they lose their next 6. But yeah, maybe they get it out of the way.
Yeah,
hey,
4
man.
in a row.
Hey, man. They did make the playoffs the one year they had a 10-game losing streak. That's all I'm saying. It's not always the worst thing, but I am good without any more 10-game losing streaks.
Please.
It has just become way too commonplace over the last few years.
PTSD over here.
All right, let's see this next one here from Adrian Franklin. If this year your real crazy S happens, Flyers tank, Torts moves up, Bradshaw becomes head coach, Coots gets traded, Zavragin comes over, all of the above. Is this the year all this happens? I mean, I could see Torts moving up by the end of the year. I wonder if it would be Bradshaw. It's very hard for teams, for assistant coaches, to make that move. Because you have to be the disciplinarian. You have to be the hard ass when you're the head coach. And when you're an assistant, especially for John Tortorella, you got to be the pat on the back guy because the lunatic is screaming at you all the time. And it's hard. Like, it just seems disingenuous to a lot of players is the consensus. Like, this dude was just pretending to be my best friend, and now he's screaming. Like, who is he? I don't know if it would be Shaw. I would think maybe it's... who are the free agent coaches right now?
That's a great question.
Not sure. I would have to look at that.
Up to these days.
Yeah, like, I don't know. With a bad start for the... with a bad start for the Canucks, like maybe Rick Tockett's looking for a job. No, I would be very, very surprised by that.
Mike Sullivan? Wait, is Mike Sullivan out? No, he's not out there.
Sullivan, people think Sullivan's going to get fired at some point, and there has been a lot of talk, like the Flyers, maybe Torts moves up to the front office as soon as Mike Sullivan becomes available, something like that. I like Mike Sullivan a lot. My problem with that is coaches don't really win championships with multiple teams. Not a thing that happens all that often.
No.
Like Scotty Bowman, sure, but everyone else, not really.
Hard to do.
All right. This next one from JH. This isn't a Torts problem. It's a players not giving a damn problem. Feels like the 2021 to 23, where it felt like I gave more of a blank than the team. I don't know if they don't care. Like, they did push back in the third period the other night. I don't know if that happens. Like, a couple of these losses absolutely are just on Ivan Fedotov alone. It's like, well, what can you do when your goalie stinks? Because that's what happened. That's what's happened in 2 of their 4 losses. Tonight, again, I am willing to write them a pass as long as I see things improve over the next couple of weeks. But that said, like, again, John Tortorella teams are supposed to be disciplined. They're supposed to be mentally tough. They're supposed to be in great shape.
Yeah.
Not seeing that right now. But I think this is it's a multi-layered problem. I think Torts is to blame for some. Absolutely, Ivan Fedotov is to blame for some. And the players as a whole wear this a lot as well. the thing is, you can't move on from every player. This is why coaches get fired all the time in every sport. Coach can be doing a great job. Doesn't matter. If you don't get the results, you can fire a coach. You can't fire 23 guys. So, Coach, I do wonder how, like, if I were to guess, Torts has a hell of a leash. It seems as if John Tortorella is part of the decision-making process, and it wouldn't be, I don't think this happens before the end of the year unless things go really off the rails. Like, I'm saying, 10-game losing streak, and they're never in this season. Then maybe. But it would still be Torts moving up, not Torts moving out.
Yeah, I just think it's a slow start, and I think they'll bounce out of this.
Yeah, I expect to see a much more engaged hockey team over the next few weeks than we've seen in the first 5 games.
If we're having these conversations in December, then
if we're at American Thanksgiving and we're still doing this, then it's like this is a move on from Torts issue.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's hit from the first one here from Gary B. I feel like our power play looked decent tonight. They only had the couple of opportunities. They did get set up. They had a few chances. They've scored a power play in the first 4 games. You're not going to score a power play goal every night. It would have been nice tonight, but overall, it has improved. The power play is more effective. It seems as if it's mostly Matvei Michkov. One thing I really want to see is Jamie Drysdale commanding the entries more.
Yes.
He is kind of the guy making the pass on the slingshot play right now. He comes to center with the puck, and then he turns, defers to TK, and TK hits the line with speed. That is not Travis Konechny's thing. Travis Konechny does some things very well. Puck handling through traffic isn't one of those things. Just seeing the way Drysdale moved around with the puck tonight and how elusive he was. I think he made the ghost move once.
Dude.
He needs to be the guy, I think, navigating the zone entries, and that will make the power play even better.
It is fun to watching him with the puck in his stick, man.
All right, this next one from Gary B. Bill, I feel like Ryan P. actively hurts the Flyers when on the ice at any shift. Ryan Poehling, the fourth line was good in the in Thursday's game, and I think that bought Poehling more time, but he has had a bad start to the season, without a doubt. Just hasn't looked very good.
Yeah, I mean, that line last year, him, Hathaway, Cates, that was Torts' favorite line.
Even when Delorier was out there, they were a decent enough line. And once it was Cates, I think there's something there with Ryan Poehling, but hopefully he's a lot closer to what he was last season than what he's been so far.
Yeah, man.
But we can say that about most of the players on this team right now. That's when it's these dudes, like skill players, maybe it takes a couple of games to get the hands going, to get everything right, get up to speed and everything. But when it's the dudes whose job it is to just get the puck deep, hit somebody, and they're not looking good, it's like this is just a team-wide problem, and hopefully they can clean it up.
Exactly, man.
All right, let's get to Adam S. here. Says, for a rebuilding team, we're signing a lot of long-term contracts. Seems like they paid a lot of dudes, and now they're playing like S. I mean, Owen Tippett is creating a ton of chances. He just needs to finish. Other than that, in terms of long-term, Paehling and Hathaway are guys who are making very little money. Nick Sealer's been hurt.
Yeah.
TK is the only guy who's really signed to a long-term deal. I don't think he's looked bad. He's got a couple of goals.
We aren't going to pay TK?
He needs to be better, but I wouldn't say he's the reason the team's been bad so far. Other than that, I don't really who's signed long-term? Like Fedotov, 2 years, and who cares? Like, it's when they have acknowledged the salary cap doesn't matter this year or next year. John Tortorella just said that in his season opening press conference. So I'm not really all that concerned with the salary cap situation. I think by the time it actually matters, it will be pretty well cleaned up.
Agreed.
All right, from JH again, surprised we didn't throw the giveaway shirts on the ice a la Ed Snyder bracelet night. I mean, I would be surprised if people just started throwing stuff on the ice regularly. It's a bad game.
Dude, I would never throw away a free t-shirt. Come on now.
People are, if you're emotionally disturbed by a regular season loss at this point, what the hell have you been watching? Choose chill. It's been 10 years of a disappointing team. Like, it's fine.
Some bad years.
Yeah,
did you go through that Mike Yo year? That was not fun.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And from Adrian Franklin again. Still love this team. We're taking the Metro next year.
I love that, Adrian.
Yeah, we're 5 games in and we're looking, they have 77 games left and we're looking ahead to 2025-26. Sure. Absolutely.
Rangers have to fall off at some point, Bill.
Maybe we can get Bet365 to open up the odds for next year's Metro division already. I wonder what the odds would be for that. Is that it on Super Chats? All right, and that means that is all the time we have for you on the PHLY Flyers postgame presented by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Tune in on probably Monday. I don't actually have the schedule yet, but we'll probably be working Monday is my guess. And because we don't know, that's a great way to tell you. Subscribe to the YouTube, hit that follow button, and set that reminder bell. So even if you don't know the schedule, you'll get the alert that we are live whenever we are live next. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers, and follow the podcast whenever you get those to listen to us in audio form. Just search PHLY Flyers. Until next time, my name is Bill Matz. That's JP Zapata. Go Birds.
We all silly like the mayor.